Hey, this is Coast Joe Donkers the Born Bob, built for theme parks, and welcome to another episode of Closed But Not Forgotten. Now, of course, we don't forget the classics here in the theme park community and the general public. If you're not a theme park enthusiast and you're watching this channel, we don't forget the classics. You know, any of you out there, enthusiast or member of the public, you may have ridden something that opened in the 80s or the 90s and has closed for a few years, and it's been removed for a few years now, and you think, oh wow, I'd love to hear more about the attractions, sort of your opinions on why you think it closed. Well, this is another episode. Now, we've had past episodes from the likes of Mean Street, Lightning Loops, and theme parks like American Adventure and Crinkly Bottom. And now the next instalment of the Closed But Not Forgotten series, we're going back to Alton Towers for another Alton Towers video, and this is The Beast / The New Beast at the Alton Towers Resort. Now, we do have some facts. A short fact file about the ride, and then I'm going to go on to my thoughts as to why it closed down. So starting with the facts then, so in 1988 Alton Towers installed the Alton Beast in an area of the park which was located behind Talbot Street, which was then of course known as Cloud Cuckoo Land. The Alton Beast remained there for 4 years, with the track painted green, before being relocated to Thunder Valley, the old Forbidden Valley, and renamed the New Beast in 1992, with the track now painted red. Now, it stood in Thunder Valley until the end of 1997, when it was removed to make space for Alton Towers' next big roller coaster, which arrived in 2002, and that was of course Air, also known as Galactic Air or Galactica, however you like to pronounce that there. So its departure from Alton Towers didn't mark the end of the ride's life. However, as it operated for some time as Space Mountain, not Disney. This is Space Mountain at Divertido, a park in Mexico, until the park's closure in 2004. And most recently it reappeared at Saltillo Magico in Colombia, where it operated as Tornado from 2010 right up until 2017, and I believe it's no longer operating at anywhere in the world right now, and I believe it's been, I think it's just either not operating, or I think it might have actually been scrapped. So unfortunately, it is, next time you go to a scrapyard, probably in Colombia, you might pick up a piece of metal and you think, oh, this feels a lot like Coaster Track. That might be the Beast. So that's a little fact file then. So this coaster operated all the way from 1988 to 1997 overall in the park. So again, very historic ride. And if you experienced the Beast, or did you experience the New Beast? Comment down your memories down below. I'd love to reply to your comments. And of course, like all the videos, if you want a shout out at the beginning of the video, drop a comment, say you want a shout out, I'll write your name down, and then but next time I record a video, I will make sure I give you a shout out. So, let's start then with my thoughts to why this closed. Now, I've got two main thoughts that sort of link to each other in a way. It closed because of modern plans, which is Air. Of course, they needed to make room for a modern coaster. Was it the right move? It's hard to sort of guess. It's hard to sort of guess as to if it's the right move, because if you compare Air to the other coasters, apart from Rita and I guess Spoonball, but you can't really compare a family thrill coaster to a thrill coaster. So obviously Rita, in my opinion, is the worst coaster at Alton Towers, in my opinion. They advertised it as the best ride ever in 2005 when they advertised it in 2005. No, it's not the best ride ever. Air, in my opinion, or Galactica, shall I say, is, in my opinion, the second worst coaster at Alton Towers, in my opinion. Some of you may think differently. Some of you may think it's your top coaster over Nemesis and Wicker Man and stuff like that. Fair enough, that's your coaster count. But in my opinion, it was the second worst coaster. I don't feel loose on a flying coaster. I feel very restrained. Like your legs are very restrained in those little flappy doors things that you sort of put the restraint down and the flappy doors open. It's got the same B&M restraints, the wing coaster and stuff like that. Not the inverter coaster, but like the wing coaster restraints with the rubbery bits and the big old things on top of your shoulders, which activates the leg doors. And then of course you get tilted into that flying position, and it does feel like you're gonna, you know, fall out, because of course you've been tilted onto the side. So you know, there is that force that's going to pull you down, but of course you've got the restraint there to sort of hold you in. So I can see why they've sort of wanted to keep you more restrained, but I just think flying coasters need to be a bit more looser. Maybe less bulky restraints and more thinner restraints, but still comfy, so you're more free in a way. Keep the leg doors, because obviously you don't want to let your legs to be dangling along with all the rock work. But I do feel as if it should be less restrained in a way and more free, but still very restrained as well. But would I choose air or would I keep the new Beast? I think I'd rather go for air over the new Beast at the time, only because you know, you've got to move forward as a park, and would you rather keep a Schwartzkopf Jetstar, or would you invest in this brand new flying coaster concept that just came out from the drawing boards? I think I'd rather go for a new concept over something that's, you know, aging not very well. And this leads me on to my next point, that the new Beast didn't keep up with the times. There was coasters ahead of it. The Corkscrew even was still ahead of it at that point. Nemesis was over it. There was other rides that's non-coaster related that were over the new Beast. Of course, this was 1997, the last season it operated, and this is the time when Thunderlooper was ripped out for the relocated pirate ship, now known then as the Blade, and of course Ripsaw. And to be fair, 1997 of course was the end of one coaster, and the following season was the beginning of a new coaster in Oblivion, over in a different site. So again, I don't think it would keep up with the competition, especially with Oblivion being out of the first year it didn't operate, and it was taken out. And I do feel like it couldn't keep up with the modern technology that was sort of evolving throughout the late 90s going into the millennium. So I think they sort of wanted to remove it in the long run, just to save the pain of not many people wanting to ride the coaster, because I don't think many people would with the modern technology nowadays. So they sort of saw potential in the flying coaster concept for the site. So they removed it, and then of course we got air, which was but it's I'm being too harsh on air. It's still a good it's still a good ride. I think the VR ruined it in a way. I think it was good, the VR quality, when it first opened as Galactica back in 2016, but then the VR quality just got worse and worse and worse, and in the end I just didn't ride it with VR, and I believe they've removed the VR from it now, so they've still kept it as Galactica, but they kept the portal theming and things like that. They just removed the VR. So again, the VR concept didn't really work. I mean, it was tough on a flying coaster with VR, because VR is supposed to look literally all around you, and you know, you couldn't do that on a flying coaster. You gotta look left and right. You can't look behind you because you've got a massive steel car structure on the back. So again, it didn't really work. So I guess you could keep, at least get to see the portal theming. For those of you who haven't seen it, I've already tried it with VR, and they haven't seen it without VR. Of course, you can see it off right, but you haven't actually ridden through the portal without VR. I did it with VR. It felt good, but I wanted to actually see it myself rather than seeing some screen in space. However, when I didn't do VR the following season, I did see it without VR, and I was very impressed. The portal theming, a nice smoke effect going in, and the portal sort of made up for it in a way. I think the next thing for Galactica now is just a repaint of the track into like a dark bluish. But enough about that. So the new Beast couldn't keep up with the times, and of course modern plans led to the ride's closure, and it is still sad after 9 years of operation. I think it could have still been a decent ride, but again, it links back to modern technology. They were going through the times. It's the late 90s, going into the millennium soon. You need the technology for the millennium, because of course it was a few years of planning before the actual couple of years of construction around that site to transform that site into air in 2002. So again, it's all about keeping up with the times, and of course they believe that New Beast couldn't do that, or the Beast, shall I say. So there we go. So that's my thoughts on why the Beast / the New Beast closed for good at Alton Towers. Again, comment your memories of the Beast or the New Beast, if you rode the New Beast or just the Beast, or if you rode both, and compare them. Comment down below and I'll reply to your comments like I always do. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. My name is Coach Dogs to Born Bob, built for theme parks. Keep living the coast up news, and I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Take care. Have an awesome day, my friends.